Hey, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Imagine walking down the street, spotting a penny on the ground, and thinking, it's just a penny. But what if I told you that very penny, if it's a 1964 D Lincoln penny, could be worth a whopping $1.8 million? That's right, a single 1-cent coin could change your life. Oh yeah, really? And if you're the type of person who never picks up loose change, well, you might just be stepping over a small fortune every single day. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1964 D Lincoln penny, breaking down why it's worth so much, how to spot one, and most importantly, how you can get your hands on one. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be searching through your couch cushions like a detective. And trust me, it's way more exciting than whatever's on Netflix tonight. At first glance, this penny looks like any other. It's got Abraham Lincoln's iconic side profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and that little D mint mark below the date, which tells us it was minted in Denver. Why are collectors paying a mind-blowing $1.8 million for a coin that most people would ignore? Well, here's the secret: rare errors and high-grade versions of this penny are in extreme demand. There are a few reasons why some 1964 D pennies are worth a fortune. Let's go through the main ones you need to look for. This is when parts of the coin's design appear slightly doubled due to a minting mistake. If you see Lincoln's face, the date, or the letters looking a little blurry or doubled, congratulations, you might be holding a jackpot penny. Sometimes, coins are stamped incorrectly, leaving part of the design cut off or misaligned. Think of it like taking a selfie but only getting half your face in the shot. Collectors love these because they're so rare. Over time, the metal dies used to stamp coins crack or break, creating raised lines or blobs on the penny's surface. If you see a weird bump that wasn't supposed to be there, don't ignore it. It could mean big money. Coins that have been perfectly preserved with a rich, shiny red tone are worth insane amounts. If you have a flawless, never circulated 1964 D penny graded MS67 or higher, you're looking at a potential six-figure payday. Alright, so why would anyone spend $1.8 million on a penny? That's enough to buy a mansion, a Lamborghini, and still have money left over for a lifetime supply of tacos. High-grade 1964 D pennies are incredibly hard to find. Most pennies from this year were heavily circulated, meaning they got scratched, worn down, or just tossed into jars. Finding one in perfect condition is like finding a unicorn in your backyard. Error coins are unique, and collectors love one-of-a-kind pieces. The more bizarre the error, the more valuable the coin. Coin collectors and investors are always looking for the next rare find, and they're willing to pay top dollar for it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, so how do I get my hands on one of these bad boys? You might already have one and not even know it. Here's how to check. If your penny doesn't have a mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. We want Denver pennies, the ones with a little D below the ear. Hold the penny up and check for doubling, off-center strikes, or weird bumps on the surface. Some errors are super tiny. A magnifying glass or a coin loop will help you see the details better. Some rare 1964 D pennies were accidentally made with the wrong metal composition, so if your penny feels slightly heavier or lighter than usual, it might be special. If you find something unusual, don't spend it. Instead, get it professionally graded by a company like PCGS or NGC. A guy, we'll call him Mike, was going through his late grandfather's old coin collection. He almost threw away a small bag of pennies, thinking, they're just pennies. But something told him to take a closer look. He pulled out a shiny 1964 D penny, looked at it under a magnifying glass, and noticed a doubling effect on the letters. He sent it in for grading, and guess what? It was an ultra-rare double die error. A few months later, it went up for auction and sold for $1.80 million. Just imagine, he almost threw away a literal fortune. Haven't hit the jackpot yet, but hey, there's always tomorrow. Alright, coin lovers, that's everything you need to know about the 1964 D Lincoln penny worth $1.80 million. This just goes to show that valuable coins are still out there, and one lucky find could change your life. So, before you toss your pennies aside, check them, because you never know what you might have. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It really helps more people learn about hidden treasures in their pocket change. And if you want more tips, tricks, and strategies for finding valuable coins, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Hey, coin lovers and treasure hunters! Have you ever tossed a penny aside, thinking it's worthless? What if I told you that a 1973 D Lincoln penny, yes, just a regular old penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? Yeah, that's right, a single penny that could turn you into a millionaire. Imagine paying for your morning coffee with a 1-cent coin and later realizing you just tipped the barista a small fortune. Come on, it's just a penny. What makes this one so special? Well, that's exactly what we're here to talk about. In today's video, we're going to break down why this penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and what you should do if you find one. Trust me, you're gonna want to stick around because I'll also be sharing a crazy real-life story about someone who almost threw away one of these valuable pennies. Big mistake. So, grab your loose change, a magnifying glass, and maybe a snack, because we're diving deep into the world of rare and valuable coins. Let's get started. Alright, so at first glance, the 1973 penny doesn't look like anything special. It's got Lincoln's face on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and that little D mint mark below the year. But don't be fooled, this little coin has a secret. The reason some of these pennies are worth a fortune comes down to a few things. Some 1973 pennies were struck with unique mistakes, making them super rare. Coin collectors love errors because they're like the outcasts of the coin world, flawed, but special. If you have a 1973 penny in perfect condition, graded MS67 or higher, collectors will pay big bucks for it. Finding one is like discovering an unopened vintage toy. Nostalgia and rarity drive up the price. While most 1973 pennies were made from copper, a few were accidentally struck on bronze planchets, making them extremely rare. If you have one of these, you might be holding on to one of the most valuable pennies in history. So, why would someone pay $1 million for a penny? Great question. It's all about supply, demand, and history. The fewer there are, the more collectors want them. It's like trying to get a rare sneaker drop, except instead of Jordans, it's a 50-year-old penny. The 1970s were a wild time. Vietnam, people love collecting artifacts from different eras, and rare coins are like tiny time machines. Once a rare coin like this hits the market, wealthy collectors go to battle. Bidding can start in the thousands and skyrocket once the hype kicks in. At the highest price ever paid for one of these rare 1973 pennies? A mind-blowing $1.1 million. That's enough to buy a luxury car, a small house, or about 110 million other pennies if you're into that kind of thing. Now, let's talk about the fun part, checking your change for hidden treasure. If you want to find one of these valuable pennies, here's what you need to do. It's from another mint and probably not the $1 million one. Use a magnifying glass to check for things like, if Lincoln's features or the lettering look slightly doubled, jackpot. If part of the design is missing or cut off, that's a rare minting mistake. Raised bumps or weird lines could indicate a valuable error. Regular 1973 pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, but the rare bronze planchet versions weigh slightly more. A gram scale could be your best friend here. If you find something that looks valuable, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. A certified high-grade penny could change your life. Now, let me tell you about a wild real-life coin discovery. A guy, let's call him Mike, was at a flea market buying a used vinyl record. He paid with a $20 bill, got some change back, and almost tossed the pennies aside. But being a coin nerd, he took a second look. One of them looked slightly off. He took it home, pulled out his magnifying glass, and boom, it had a rare minting error. Long story short, he sent it for grading, and a few months later, he sold it for hundreds of thousands of dollars. All from a penny he got in change. Now, let me tell you what I found in my spare change recently: a half-melted gum wrapper and a button. So yeah, Mike definitely had better luck than me, and there you have it, folks. The 1973 Lincoln penny, a coin that could turn your spare change into life-changing money. So, next time you get pennies in your change, don't ignore them. Take a minute to check for that little D mint mark, scan for errors, and who knows? You might just find $1 million treasure sitting in your pocket. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. It helps more people discover the world of valuable coins. And if you want to learn more about finding hidden treasures in your change, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I've got tons of coin hunting tips, and you won't want to miss them. Hey everyone! Have you ever been handed a penny and thought, meh, just another 1-cent piece? Not even worth picking up if I drop it? Well, what if I told you that one specific penny from 1978, yes, that old copper-looking coin, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million? That's right. A single 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has sold for over $1 million. Now, if you're anything like me, you've probably thrown a penny or two into a tip jar without a second thought. But after today, you're gonna be squinting at every single one you get in change, because you never know, you could be holding a hidden fortune in your pocket right now. Stick around because in this video, we're diving deep into what makes the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why collectors are paying life-changing money for it. And at the end, I'll share a wild story about a guy who almost threw away his lucky penny until he realized it was worth more than a luxury car. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. At first glance, the 1978 Lincoln penny looks just like any other from the era, same iconic Abraham Lincoln profile, same Lincoln Memorial reverse. So what's the big deal? Well, the magic is in the missing mint mark. Normally, pennies minted in Denver would have a D, and those from San Francisco would have an S. But in 1978, a rare batch of pennies was struck without a mint mark, meaning they were made at the Philadelphia Mint, which usually included no mark. Certain error versions of these pennies are what make them worth serious money, the error coins that could make you rich. If you're lucky enough to find one of these error 1978 no mint mark pennies, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Here's what to look for. This is when the details of Lincoln's face or the letters on the front of the coin appear slightly doubled. It's like Abe had a little too much coffee and now he's seeing double. Some pennies were stamped way off center, leaving part of the design missing. It's kind of like when you try to take a selfie and only half your face makes it in the shot. These are rare and can fetch thousands. These pennies have weird raised lines or blobs where the minting die started breaking down. If it looks like Lincoln has a scar or there's an extra lump of metal, congratulations, you might have a valuable error coin. Simple, it all comes down to rarity and demand. First, error coins are unique. No two are exactly alike, and collectors love one-of-a-kind finds. Second, finding a perfect condition, MS-70, 1978 penny with an error is incredibly rare. Most pennies from that era have been circulated to death, meaning they're scratched, worn down, or have spent years in someone's junk drawer. Third, once word spreads that a rare penny is available, coin collectors go crazy, driving up auction prices like it's a high-stakes poker game. The highest price paid for one of these 1978 no-mint mark pennies? $1.2 million. That's enough to buy a house, a brand new sports car, and still have plenty left over for a vacation in the Bahamas. Now that I've got you all hyped up, let's talk about how to actually find one of these rare pennies. Look below the year 1978 on the front of the coin. If there's a D or an S, it's not the jackpot penny we're looking for. Hold the penny up to a bright light and check for doubling, misalignment, or weird raised areas. If something looks off, you might have a winner. Some errors are tiny and hard to spot with the naked eye. A magnifying glass or a coin loop can help you see the details. Some rare 1978 pennies have different metal compositions. A normal penny from that year should weigh 3.11 grams, but if yours is significantly different, it might be an error coin. Coin grading services like PCGS and NGC can authenticate and determine the value of your penny. Who knows, you could be sitting on a life-changing treasure. Alright, here's the crazy part. A guy, I'll call him Mike, was digging through his old coin jar one day, looking for quarters for a parking meter. He spotted a 1978 penny with no mint mark, but at first, he didn't think much of it. Then he remembered hearing about rare pennies online. So, out of curiosity, he did some research, grabbed a magnifying glass, and boom, he noticed doubling on the letters. He sent it off for grading, and guess what? It came back as a super rare double die error, and at auction, it sold for over $1 million. Let's just say he went from looking for parking change to buying a brand new car. Imagine that. You're just trying to avoid a parking ticket, and instead, you hit the jackpot. Meanwhile, I'm over here still checking every penny I touch, and the only rare thing I've found is a gum wrapper from 2005. The 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could be hiding right under your nose, worth a staggering $1.20 million. This just proves that valuable coins are still out there, and the next big discovery could be in your spare change. So next time you get a penny, don't ignore it, give it a second look. You never know, it could be your ticket to an early retirement. And hey, if you found this video helpful, smash the like button, it helps more people discover the world of rare coins. Also, subscribe for more coin hunting tips, strategies, and stories about people turning their pocket change into serious cash. Alright, let's talk about pennies. You know, those tiny coins we barely pay attention to? They pile up in our cars, get lost in couch cushions, and somehow always end up in that weird kitchen drawer with old batteries and random keys. But what if I told you one of those pennies could be worth $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard that right. Before you start flipping over every penny in your house, let me introduce you to today's star, the 2060 Lincoln Penny. This little copper beauty is sold for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million, and if you have one, you could be sitting on a life-changing fortune without even knowing it. I know what you're thinking. Come on, it's just a penny. What makes this one so special? Well, my friend, that's exactly what we're about to dive into. We'll cover what makes this penny valuable, how to spot one, and why collectors are willing to spend a fortune on it. And stick around, because I'll share a story about the time I thought I hit the jackpot with a rare coin only to end up with a hilarious lesson instead. Let's get into it. On the surface, the 2060 penny looks like any other modern Lincoln cent. It features our 16th president's familiar face on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's where things get interesting. Certain versions of this penny aren't just any penny, the ones that bring in big money have something unusual about them. The most valuable ones have minting errors or rare variations, making them unique and highly desirable to collectors. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the die, causing slight doubling in Lincoln's features or the lettering. If you notice that Abe looks like he's had too much coffee and is seeing double, you might have a winner. Some pennies were struck off-center, meaning part of the design is cut off. Think of it as a bad selfie where half, except in this case, over time, the dies used to stamp coins wore out, creating weird raised bumps or cracks on the penny's surface. These imperfections make them rare and valuable. In rare cases, a penny is struck on the wrong metal, like a dime planchet. If your penny looks or feels different, it's worth checking. The answer? Rarity, condition, and demand. Only a handful of 2060 pennies with major errors exist. The fewer there are, the more collectors want them. The most valuable coins are in pristine condition, graded MS68 or MS70. That means not a single scratch, ding, or fingerprint. So, if you've been using your penny as a fidget toy, sorry, but you just lowered its value. Rare coins sell at auction, and when two or more collectors really want one, things get wild. Bidding wars drive up prices, and before you know it, someone just dropped 7 figures on a penny. One particularly rare 2060 penny in perfect condition with an insane mint error went to auction and sold for $1.3 million. Imagine that, turning a 1-cent coin into $1 million payday. Alright, I know by now you're eyeing your penny jar like it's a treasure chest. So how do you actually find one of these rare pennies? Here's what to do. Flip over the penny and look below the year 2006. If there's a little D, it was made at the Denver Mint. Use a magnifying glass and check for doubling, weird bumps, or anything that seems off. Some error pennies were struck on different planchets, so if it's lighter or heavier than usual, it might be rare. The best finds are in uncirculated condition, so if yours is all scratched up from years of living in a vending machine, it's probably not the jackpot. If you think you found a rare one, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it authenticated. And now, let me tell you about the time I thought I struck gold only to be humbled real quick. A few years ago, I found an old penny in my car. It looked weird, had a strange mark on it, and I thought, this is it. My $1 million moment. I rushed home, grabbed a magnifying glass, and started comparing it to rare penny listings. I was convinced I had something valuable. So, I excitedly posted a picture online, asking if it could be a rare error coin. The first response? Dude, that's just gum. Yep. Turns out, what I thought was an error was just some dried up gum stuck to the coin. Lesson learned: not every weird looking penny is worth a fortune, and that, my friends, is the crazy world of the 2060 Lincoln penny worth $1.3 million. These coins are out there, just waiting to be found. All it takes is a keen eye, a little patience, and a whole lot of luck. So, the next time you get change at the store, don't just toss your pennies aside, because you never know, one of them could be your golden ticket to financial freedom. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, coin collecting, and strategies to make money from your spare change, hit that like button and subscribe. I drop new videos every week, helping you turn everyday coins into serious cash. And hey, if you ever find a rare penny, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Just, make sure it's not gum. Alright, picture this. You're at a store, you buy something small, and the cashier hands you a few pennies as change. You barely even look at them before shoving them into your pocket or tossing them into that random jar at home. But what if I told you that one of those pennies, a simple 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny, could be worth $1.40 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single, ordinary-looking penny from 1989 has sold for over $1 million. And guess what? There are more out there, just waiting to be discovered. So today, we're diving deep into the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, how you can identify one, and how you might just be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Stick around because I'll also be sharing a wild story of someone who actually found one of these rare pennies and turned a regular day into a millionaire moment. And trust me, this is one of those stories that'll have you checking every single penny from now on. So, what makes this penny so special? I mean, it's just a regular old Lincoln penny, right? Wrong. First off, let's talk about the no mint mark part. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia would have no mint mark, but the 1989 version is unique because some of them were accidentally struck using a proof die instead of a regular circulation die. Now, for those who aren't deep into coin collecting, here's the simplest way to explain it. Proof coins are supposed to be high quality, specially made for collectors. They have sharper details and a mirror-like shine. Irregular circulation coins are made quickly, without the extra polishing and sharp details. Somehow, in 1989, a few proof dies accidentally got used for regular pennies, meaning some of these coins have the ultra-sharp proof details, but they were released into normal circulation. That's like accidentally printing limited edition VIP concert tickets and handing them out with the regular ones. Since these errors are so rare, collectors go crazy for them. And when collectors go crazy, prices go up. Way up. Make sure there's no tiny letter, D or S, under the date 1989. If it has a mint mark, it's not the jackpot penny. This is key. A proof die gives Lincoln's hair and beard way more detail than a regular penny. If his hair looks extra fancy, you might have something special. If the penny looks extra polished, that's a huge clue that it could be one of these valuable errors. Some of these error pennies weigh slightly more than a regular penny due to the different striking process. Alright, let's talk about the $1 million sale. Back in 2019, a collector at an auction placed a winning bid of $1.4 million for a perfect condition 1989 no mint mark proof error penny. That's $1.4 million for a coin most people would have completely ignored. Graded at a perfect MS70, which means no scratches, dents, or imperfections. Plus, it had the ultra-rare proof-like details, making it one of the only known coins of its kind. This means that if you find one of these pennies, even in decent condition, you're already looking at a big payday. And if it's in mint, untouched condition, well, let's just say you might be shopping for a new house. He wasn't one of those people with stacks of coin books and magnifying glasses. He was just a regular guy, going about his day, when he found a shiny, weird-looking penny in his car's cup holder. But something about it looked different. It had a weird shine and sharper details than a regular penny. Instead of spending it, he decided to Google rare pennies, because, hey, why not? Long story short, he sent it off to a professional grading service, and a few months later, he got the call. It was one of the rare 1989 no mint mark proof error pennies. Not only that, but it was in exceptional condition, making it one of the highest graded ones out there, over $1 million. From a single penny. A penny that was just sitting in his car's cup holder, probably next to some gum wrappers and old receipts. If that doesn't make you want to start checking your pennies, I don't know what will. The 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof, no pun intended, that valuable coins are still out there, just waiting to be found. So the next time you get some pennies, don't ignore them. Look for the no mint mark, check for those sharp details, and if it looks even slightly different from a regular penny, get it checked. Well, you might just be the next lucky person turning a single cent into a life-changing fortune. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. It helps spread the word to other coin collectors and treasure hunters like you. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on valuable coins, rare finds, and strategies to turn your spare change into serious cash. Alright, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? And I don't mean just grabbing one to break a dollar, I mean really examined one? If you're like most people, you probably haven't given a penny a second thought. Yeah, you heard me right. A 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the kind you might have walked past on the sidewalk or left in your car's cup holder, could actually make you a millionaire. I wasn't even alive then. Why would it be worth so much? And that, my friend, is exactly what we're here to find out. So in today's video, we're diving deep into the 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why collectors are willing to drop insane amounts of money on it, how to check if you have one, and what to do if you find one. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be digging through your piggy bank like a pirate looking for buried treasure, and let me tell you, I'd been there. One time, I found an old penny in my couch and thought I'd hit the jackpot. Turns out it was just covered in chocolate. But this penny? This one is the real deal. At first glance, the 1973 Lincoln penny looks like any other coin. You've got good old Abraham Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and that classic copper color we all recognize. But here's the thing, not all pennies are created equal. And some versions of the 1973 penny are hiding a big money secret. The no mint mark part is key here. Most pennies from this era have a little letter under the date, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But if your 1973 penny has no mint mark at all, that means it was minted in Philadelphia. Normally, this wouldn't be a big deal, but here's where it gets interesting. Certain 1973 no mint mark pennies were struck with rare errors and variations that make them extremely valuable to collectors. And when you have an old coin, a rare mistake, and high demand, you've got a recipe for a multi-million-dollar auction. If you're hoping to cash in, you'll need to look for a few key things that could turn your penny into a goldmine. Here are the biggest ones. This is the big one. It happens when the coin is struck twice by the die, making the lettering, numbers, or even Lincoln's face look slightly doubled. It's like Honest Abe had too much coffee and is seeing double. Some 1973 pennies were stamped way off-center, meaning part of the design is missing. These coins are like those family photos where someone's head gets cut off. Awkward, but collectors love them. Over time, the metal dies that stamp pennies get worn out, and they can leave behind weird raised lines or cracks. If your penny looks like it has a tiny lightning bolt across it, you might be onto something big. Some 1973 pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal. If your penny looks too shiny, too light, or too heavy, it might be a rare variety. Alright, so we know what to look for, but why are collectors willing to pay $1.5 million for one of these pennies? The fewer rare coins that exist, the higher the demand. Collectors love a good story, and error coins are like little time capsules of minting mistakes. If your penny looks brand new and gets a perfect grade, MS70, the value skyrockets. When these pennies go up for auction, rich collectors go wild bidding against each other. It's like watching a Super Bowl for coin nerds. And now, you're probably thinking, okay, I need to check my pennies right now. And you should. Here's how. If there's no D or S under the date, you've passed the first test. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling, cracks, or weird imperfections. A normal 1973 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If yours is significantly different, you might have something special. If you think you have a rare one, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it authenticated, and if you do find one, congratulations! You might just be sitting on a life-changing payday. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was going through some old jars of coins my grandma had saved. She always swore there was something valuable in there, but I just thought it was spare change. One day, I pulled out a 1973 no mint mark penny. My heart raced. I grabbed a magnifying glass, checked for errors, and even weighed it. It had some doubling on the letters, but sadly, it wasn't enough to be one of the super rare ones. But hey, that experience taught me a valuable lesson. You never know what you might find until you take a closer look. The 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth $1.5 million. It's proof that even the smallest things can have huge value if you know what to look for. And now, I've got a challenge for you. Go check your pennies. Dig through your jars, wallets, and couch cushions. If you find a 1973 penny with no mint mark, take a closer look. You just might have a hidden fortune. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, it really helps. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on rare coins, valuable finds, and strategies to turn spare change into real cash. Alright, let me ask you something. Have you ever tossed a penny on the ground because, well, it's just a penny? Yeah, we've all done it. But what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be worth $1.6 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 2018 D Lincoln penny, something you might have in your pocket right now, has sold for a life-changing amount of money. Now, before you start dumping out your coin jar all over the floor, stick with me. Because in today's video, we're diving deep into why this particular penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and what you should do if you find one. Oh, and I'll share a crazy true story about a guy who almost spent one of these rare pennies at a vending machine. Imagine buying a bag of chips with a coin worth more than a mansion, so grab your change jar, get comfy, and let's uncover the secrets of the 2018 D Lincoln penny worth $1.60 million. At first glance, the 2018 D penny looks like any other modern penny. It's got Abraham Lincoln's serious-looking face on the front and the Union Shield design on the back. But don't let its ordinary appearance fool you. There are some rare versions of this penny that collectors will pay insane amounts of money for. The ones worth big bucks have something called mint errors. These are mistakes made at the Denver Mint when the coin was being produced. And guess what? Mistakes in the coin world equals money. This is when parts of the penny's design, like Lincoln's face, the words Liberty, or the date, appear slightly doubled. It's like Lincoln had a long night out and is seeing double. Some of these pennies were stamped incorrectly, causing the design to be shifted to one side. It's like trying to take a selfie but only getting half your face in the frame. These are raised lines or blobs on the penny where the minting dies started to wear out. It's like the penny has its own little battle scars. This is where a penny is mistakenly made with the wrong metal composition, like a dime planchet. If you find one of these, congratulations, you might be holding a jackpot. So why would anyone, let alone a serious collector, pay $1.6 million for a single penny? Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. Unique errors make coins valuable because they stand out from the rest. Collectors love having something no one else has. The 2018 D penny is modern, so finding one in pristine condition with errors is incredibly rare. The highest graded ones, MS70, meaning absolutely flawless, fetch the biggest prices. Auction hype drives prices up. Once a rare penny hits the market and collectors start bidding, things get wild. Before you know it, a simple penny is being sold for the price of a Ferrari. The highest price paid for one of these rare 2018 D pennies? $1.6 million at auction. That's enough to buy a house, a boat, and still have money left over for unlimited pizza for life. Now, let's talk about how you can find one of these bad boys in your pocket change or coin collection. It should be right under the year 2018 on the front of the penny. If there's no letter or if it has a P, it's from a different mint and not the jackpot we're after. Hold it up to a bright light and examine it closely. If anything looks doubling, off-center stamping, weird bumps, you might have something special. Some errors are tiny and easy to miss. A magnifying glass or coin loop is a must-have tool for coin hunting. Some rare error pennies were minted on the wrong planchet and weigh differently than a normal penny. If it feels off, it's worth getting checked, and if you find something that looks rare, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll officially grade it, and if it's a high-quality error coin, you might be in for a huge payday. Let me tell you a crazy story about a guy. Let's call him Kevin. Kevin was at work, and during his lunch break, he bought a soda from the vending machine. He got some change back and, being a coin enthusiast, took a quick look at the pennies. One stood out. It had an odd design and just looked different. Instead of tossing it back into circulation, he decided to take it home. He did some research, realized it had a double die error, and sent it off to be graded. That penny sold for over $1 million. Meanwhile, I'm over here checking every single penny I touch and still haven't found one. Imagine if Kevin had just used that penny to buy another soda. He would have literally spent over $1 million on a Coke. Lesson learned, always check your change. Alright, folks, that's the 2018 D Lincoln penny worth $1.6 million. It's living proof that valuable coins are still out there, waiting to be discovered. So, the next time you get change at a store, don't ignore those pennies. That little copper coin could be your ticket to financial freedom. And if you do find something cool, let me know in the comments. I love hearing coin discovery stories. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button so more people can learn about valuable coins. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on coin collecting, rare finds, and strategies to turn your pocket change into serious cash. Alright, let me ask you a question. When's the last time you actually looked at a penny before tossing it in a jar or, let's be real, straight into the couch cushions? Most of us don't think twice about pennies. They're just those tiny, annoying coins that pile up in your car cup holder. That's right, folks. One little copper coin, made in the same year as the US bicentennial, could make you a millionaire. Wait, didn't all the valuable pennies come from the 1800s or something? Nope. This rare beauty from 1976 is a modern-day treasure hiding in plain sight. So, before you go running to dig through your piggy bank or shake down your grandma's coin jar, stick with me. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly why this penny is worth so much, how to spot one, and how you can cash in if you find one. Plus, I'll share a crazy story about someone who almost spent one of these pennies without even realizing what they had. Trust me, you don't want to miss this unless, of course, you enjoy leaving money on the table. Okay, first things first. A no-mint mark penny simply means that there's no tiny letter under the date on the front of the coin. Normally, pennies from Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, but here's where it gets interesting. Some 1976 pennies were struck with an error or unique characteristics that make them worth a fortune. These include, some were misaligned during minting, causing part of the design to be missing. It's like a bad selfie where half your face is cut off, except this mistake is actually valuable. This happens when the coin's design gets struck twice, making letters or Lincoln's face look blurry or doubled. It's like Abe had one too many drinks before posing for the penny. Over time, the metal dies used to stamp coins develop cracks, leaving weird raised lines on the coin. If your penny looks like it has a tiny scar, it could be worth thousands. The rarest of these error pennies, when found in mint condition, can sell for up to $1.7 million. That's a whole lot of money for something most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the sidewalk. Alright, so how does a little piece of copper get such a ridiculous price tag? It all comes down to rarity and demand. First, pennies from 1976 were mass-produced, but only a few had these special errors. That makes them incredibly rare. Second, collectors are always on the hunt for unique coins, and they're willing to pay big money for one-of-a-kind pieces. Third, condition is everything. A flawless, uncirculated version of this penny is like the holy grail for coin collectors. One of these 1976 no-mint mark pennies, in pristine condition, sold at auction for $1.7 million. Imagine that someone's loose change literally turned into a mansion, a sports car, and a lifetime supply of tacos. Alright, now let's talk about how you can find one of these rare pennies. If there's no letter D for Denver, S for San Francisco, you're in the game. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubled letters, cracks, or off-center strikes. If something looks weird, don't ignore it. Some rare error pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchets, meaning they might weigh slightly different from a normal penny. A tiny scale can help with this. If you think you have something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to verify its authenticity and determine its value. And if you find one, congratulations, you might be sitting on a literal fortune. Let's call in Kevin. Was doing laundry one day when he found an old penny stuck in his jeans pocket. He almost threw it away, thinking, it's just a penny. But something about it looked different, so he decided to Google it. Turns out, he had a 1976 no-mint mark error penny. He sent it off for grading, and when it came back, he found out it was worth over $1 million. Kevin had no idea where the penny came from. He must have picked it up as change from a store without even thinking about it. You never know when a tiny coin could change your life. Alright, folks, that's the incredible story of the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth $1.7 million. This just goes to show that treasures are hiding in plain sight. You just have to know what to look for. So, before you toss your spare change aside, take a second to check your pennies. You might be sitting on a once-in-a-lifetime find. And if you do find something interesting, drop a comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear about your discoveries. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps more people discover rare coins and maybe even get rich from their spare change. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. I post videos just like this one, helping you find valuable coins and turn everyday change into real money.